Hey, welcome back. Isn't it wild how sometimes the most massive, world-changing ideas are hiding in plain sight, like in just a tiny little piece of data? Well, today, we're going to grab one of those tiny snippets and use it as a key to unlock one of the absolute core concepts in all of AI.
Okay, so let's just jump right in. We're going to start with a puzzle. I want you to look at this piece of data with me, totally stripped of all its context. Imagine you're a detective, and this is the one mysterious clue you found at the scene.
So, seriously, what are you looking at? What could these numbers possibly be? A bank record? Maybe some kind of scientific reading? A forgotten password? What do you think?
I mean, at first glance, it just looks like nothing, right? Total noise, a random string of numbers that some machine just coughed up. It's completely meaningless, unless you have the key. And that's what we're here to do. For the next few minutes, you and we're going to be code breakers.
Now, like any good mystery, we've got a clue. The source material gives us exactly one thing to go on, just a single phrase to help us make sense of all this. But trust me, this one clue, it is everything.
And there it is. That's our Rosetta Stone, embedding vector the first three. To get what the numbers mean, we got to figure out what these words mean. So, let's do it. Let's break this thing down piece by piece. All right, let's start with the easier part of the clue, the word vector. You've probably heard this before, maybe in a math class or a physics lecture, and the idea is actually way simpler than it sounds.
So here's the deal. A vector is just a list of numbers. But, and this is the important part, it's not a random list. It's an organized set of instructions. It's telling you exactly where to go or where to point inside of a space.
The absolute simplest way to picture this, think about coordinates on a map. You know, like in a video game or a 3D model. To find any point, you need 3 bits of info. How far to go on the x-axis, how far on the y-axis, and how far on the z-axis. That's it. A vector is basically just an address.
Okay, so a vector is an address. Cool. But an address to what? That brings us to the second and honestly the much more interesting part of our clue. What in the world does embedding mean here? If you just look up the word, it's a very physical thing, right? You embed a gem into a ring or maybe a post into concrete. It's all about taking one thing and locking it into place inside a bigger system.
And this is where it gets really mind-bending. When we take that physical idea and apply it to the world of AI. Embedding means you're placing a concept, like a word or a picture or even a feeling, onto this huge, sprawling, multidimensional map of meaning. All right, time to put it all together. We've cracked our 2 clues. We've got a vector, which we know is an address, and we've got an embedding, which is a map of meaning. Let's solve this thing once and for all. So here's how they connect. The vector part gives you the coordinates. That's the where. The embedding part is the map itself. That's the what. So an embedding vector isn't just a string of numbers, it's the precise address of an idea on a map of other related ideas. So let's go all the way back to our mystery numbers. That first number, -0.024 something, that's not random. Nope, it's the first step on our map. The second number is the next turn, and the third number is the final direction. These are the literal coordinates for an idea in what we could call meaning space.
Which brings us to the very last piece of the puzzle, right there in the parentheses from our source. The number 3. Why did it say the first 3? Why point that out?
Well, it's because we've only been looking at a super simplified address. Just 3 dimensions. It's like finding one dot on a really basic map. But think about it. A complex idea like, say, love or justice. Can you really pin that down with just 3 numbers? No way. So what if an AI needs, I don't know, 1,000 different coordinates, 1,000 dimensions to truly grasp what justice means? That's when your mind starts to bend a little, right? That's when you really get a sense of the unbelievably massive, complex maps AI is building just to understand our world.